Dear friends, welcome to this episode. Today we will be talking about finding accommodation in Heidelberg. As you know, it will be nice for me to talk to somebody else to get this information, but I know so much about finding accommodation in this area that you would never know. 13 years, I have this experience, and that's why I'm going to give you this information myself. So, going to a new city, especially Heidelberg, to study, the first thing that should come to your mind is, where am I going to stay? And that's why finding accommodation is so important. As you know, the city of Heidelberg is very beautiful and is attractive for a lot of people, including students. There are about 36,000 students that study here in the city, and accommodation has always been a problem. Prices are going up, and housing is becoming more difficult to find, especially affordable housing. So I would tell you from my experience that housing is there, but affordable housing for students is difficult. It's so difficult that I have to tell you some certain things that you need to do in order to secure student accommodation for yourself. In the winter semester, we receive about 6,000 to 7,000 new students in the city, and student housing available by the university can only accommodate about 15% of all these students coming, which means that the rest have to find accommodation in the private market, or maybe in another city around Heidelberg. The typical kind of student housing you'll be looking for will be single apartments, shared flat, or housing from private rentals. So these are some things you should consider when looking for accommodation in Heidelberg. 1, time. 2, you should look at your personal finances. How much money are you willing to give? 3 is the location. Where exactly do you want to stay? This has to do with if you know where your campus is located. Remember, in Heidelberg, the student campus is not centralized. You have campuses all over the city, so you have to take that into consideration while looking for where you want to stay. So when I say timing, I mean how much early you have to start looking for accommodation. Now, taking into account what I told you before, how many students will be looking for accommodation this winter semester, you should be looking for your accommodation about yesterday if you're planning to come in here in the winter semester. That means October. So starting now will be a good time to start exploring all the vacancies that exist at the moment. How much money you have in your pocket is going to play a very important role. Now, just for your information, student housing is going to cost you between 300 and 500 euros for shared flats alone, and to about 800 euros for a single apartment, depending on where you stay. So take that finance factor very important. If you are planning to stay in a cheaper accommodation, then you should look at starting now to search. The third thing I mentioned was the location. Remember that around the city center is very expensive and the prices are going up. So in the surrounding towns and villages and suburbs of Heidelberg, the prices are a little lower. So while searching, please look for housing that is available around or in another city out of Heidelberg if you're trying to save some money. Please go to the website of the Studierendenwerk Heidelberg and look for student accommodation, student living. When you go in there, you will see all information you need to know about staying in Heidelberg, including application for a room in the dorms. Go in there as early as you can. Normally, they would allow you to apply 6 months before, but if you've not done so, please do it now. That's how you come into the waiting list of the university, and from there on, you can secure a student dorm on campus. The next thing you need to do is to look for other sources of private housing, also other institutions that offer student accommodation. The internet is there. Please go in there and look as early as you can. If you apply for a student dorm, apply to as many sources as you can. That is how you can easily balance up, and one way or the other you would find accommodation somewhere. 2, if you have contacts in the city, please ask them to see where available rooms are located. 3 is very important, and this I recommend to everyone. Please come into the city as early as you can, as early as August. If you're here in the city, there's a possibility that you would find all the offers, even in the private market, for you to secure your housing, okay? And we are available to you. You have our contact. You can always contact us if you have any questions, but these are the 3 steps you need to take. Like I said before, it is difficult to find housing in Heidelberg. Even if you follow all those steps that I just gave you, there is no guarantee that you're just going to find the housing that you really need like that. There are challenges to finding student accommodation. The first one is, of course, finding the one that you really like. It's very tough. There's ones that you will find, but it's not suitable for you. There's ones that you really want, but it's too expensive. There's one that you can afford, but it's too far. Next challenge is very common, is communication. So if you're going to look for accommodation in the private market, you need to communicate with the landlords or the brokers, you know. So if your language skills, your German language skills are so low, it's going to be tough for you to communicate. The way you can go around this is to find somebody in the city, is to find a friend or somebody from your institute or somebody from your class that you think can help you, find this accommodation for you if they know how to speak the German language. The last thing I would like to say about challenges is time. The selection process really takes a lot of time. So for those that do not have patience and those that do not have the time to wait right till the end, it is usually challenging. So my advice is that you have to know how to play the system in a way where while you're waiting for the student accommodation department to provide you with a room, you also have to be looking at other options in case you are not selected. So these are some few things that you can always check, but again, you can write to us, ask us, and we will be able to help you like we mentioned before. Dear friends, thank you for watching. I hope you liked it and I hope it was helpful. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like it, share it, and most importantly, write a comment. And if you have any question, please write to us and we will respond to you as soon as we can. Thank you again and see you at the next episode.